Namaste, hi, hello. It's been a while. I was just thinking about this particular thought in my mind. Been restless about it. Been thinking, whatever I'm doing, does it make sense? Am I happy with it? Or how how's it others are doing? What am I doing? Do I have a clarity in place? How about my plans? How do I organize things? How do I go about putting that plan, chart it out, get it rolling? Okay, fine. Let me hit it over here. A couple of you who are listening to this podcast, first I would like to say thank you for stopping by, because it's you who all helping me to build content, to keep sharing, and continue this journey. What am I going to be sharing today is about motherhood. A little out of syllabus, I would call it as. A couple of years back, when many of them asked me, Meera, why did you quit? You're doing good? Or you were so passionate about being an HR, recruiter, or in the talent acquisition space? Of course, I've been in that space for 16 years. It's something I'm very passionate about when it was about career. I am still. I took a break because motherhood looked totally out of syllabus to me. Absolutely, I would call it as a syllabus because it keeps changing every now and then. Every now and then, as and when you are ready, things change. What you're prepared for might not appear. Today, there's a learning, and you expect tomorrow it would be the same learning, but it's going to be yet another. Children are smart. We mention that they make mistakes, but they're too smart. They have dictionary of mistakes, like A to Z, that they will continue. We really wonder, or I would say I wonder, sometimes, am I able to give the best to my child? Every child, for a parent and for a mother, and they're special, they are. Few children listen to parents. They meet the syllabus. Few ask questions on questions. Few, by respect and salute a couple of parents who have been dealing or taking care of children with special needs. It isn't easy. Whatever it is, children are children. Parents or mother remain a mother. Children outgrow in terms of size or in terms of age. Motherhood, I don't know. I'm cautiously telling that I don't know. Because I've seen this. Grandparents, more than they addressing themselves as grandparents, they fulfill the wish of their parenthood in their or with their grandchildren. Something they missed giving their child. It could be the time, the space, energy. As a parent or as a mother, They were particular about this should be here, that should be there, you need to finish your homework, come back by this time. But when they became grandparents, they didn't have this pressure in their mind. They just went about doing their work, like fulfilling being their parent. There are days I don't know what to do. I am Meera. I have my own age, a number of course. But as a mother, I'm just as old as my child. Even I don't know several things. If my child is in second standard, I would call as a mother, even I'm in just second standard. Aside though, I really break down, literally. I keep asking myself, why am I working? What am I doing in my venture? It was during one of these breakdown situation, I would call it as, when I would say, hitting that rock bottom, emotionally and mentally. It might sound abrupt, it might sound seriously, but I'm telling you, you might have started something as a brand, as an aspiration. It could be even that unfulfilled wish. It could be to create something. It could be for various reasons which you alone know best. But the answer that came out to me was, I wanted to mentally run away from several things, several people. We all go through this thought. My venture gave me that freedom. I was living in this bubble, absolutely. I was so passionate, and I am still passionate about the podcasting that I do, the stories that I share, the training and mentoring or coaching that I offer, the conversation I pull on while I'm with folks during my walk. So many stories I've been sharing with everyone. So many have utilized my platform, or even me for that matter, to create their stories. But I realized when I was really at that rock bottom that I found freedom in my venture. I found freedom, or more than a freedom, I would define it as a place where I can escape to from everything and people around. Let's connect this with entrepreneurship. Motherhood and entrepreneurship. Both are challenging. Motherhood, as it looks totally out of syllabus, being an entrepreneur too looks at times, or many a times, totally out of syllabus. Motherhood is challenging. Things keep changing every now and then. Be it taking care of child, 6 months old, or be it a parent to 60-year-old. Nothing changes. We feel one stage is better than the other. Rather, we wait for the next stage, thinking that we'll get more time and space. But what happens is that things gets just added on, challenges increase. Jumping to entrepreneurship. Every day comes with a surprise element. We might be excited and happy about the fact, oh, I solved this. Whatever comes next, I will solve. But whatever is going to come in next, despite having the experience, exposure, and having that subject knowledge, subject matter expertise, we still don't crack it. It looks like a mountain of challenges ahead of us, right? Motherhood, most of the time, or at times, blindly we are so passionate about taking care of the family, child. Sometimes, though, we might call ourselves as conscious parent, but still, we miss few things which is just in front of our eyes. Jumping into entrepreneurship. We are so passionate about our idea. We are so passionate about our venture, our brand, the name, the fame, the position, the status quo, or the status quo, what you call it as. So much we are attached to that, we really miss on the limitations, the areas of improvement, or something that shouldn't happen. Motherhood, don't we all, or at times run with imposter syndrome? Yes. A mother, or a human, or an entrepreneur, they might go through imposter syndrome. Sometimes as a mother, we might question about our worthiness. Also as an entrepreneur, right? What am I doing? How am I doing? What is happening with my products? How are my services? They are good, but still, why am I not feeling good about it? What are people talking about it? Maybe people might not look at what I'm doing. I might not get that appreciation, rewards, whatever you call it as, the name, fame game. Motherhood also runs on the guilt, right? Entrepreneurship, guilt could be different kinds. Might be our go-to-market strategy didn't work. Might be that we are still swimming against the tide in a red ocean. We are still guilty about the fact, that we haven't achieved that target, which is way ahead what we can. We can just go on and on. But at the end of the day, as a mother, when you just stretch your legs and sit for some time, even when you get that little space and time for yourself, might be you would enjoy that particular moment for a few seconds. But after the next moment, you start questioning yourself. What am I supposed to make next? Why am I enjoying this pleasure of stretching my feet? Why am I taking care of myself? As an entrepreneur, don't you do this? When you get that little me time, do you question, oh God, what am I doing? I'm feeling guilty about giving time for myself, to myself. I'm not talking the other side of motherhood. Neither am I going to compare that, with entrepreneurship. But I call it as sometimes as a mother, we want to escape from few things just for a few seconds. But that escape also hurts because we are guilty. As an entrepreneur, I just want to pause is what we might think. But again, we are guilty. What about my customer? Oh, that particular client that particular person had placed for an order. Can I afford to just give that 2 minutes for myself? You are best to decide. Things are going to be there like this always, every day, every second, every minute, day, weeks, months, or years. What will not change is this thought in our mind. I would call it as it's a weed. W-E-E-D, I mean it. That parasitic plant which we are nurturing and nurturing. Let's not add the word continue to nurture. Easy to say that, weed it out, remove it. It doesn't work like that, right? Weeds are always around, entangled, just like those challenges. A pause is absolutely fine, both in motherhood and in entrepreneurship. It is in this pause we start pivoting. We start re-looking at what we are, how we are. We start re-analyzing. I would say yes, pivoting again. Because it is this reflection time, the pause, which will give us that bit of space in our mind to think about ourselves, about our venture, our offerings, our children, a child. So mothers and entrepreneurs out there, please take that break. Like I always mention, nothing around us changes. Nobody would change for that matter. Even we don't change per se. Who's stopping us? What's stopping us? But for us, both in motherhood and in entrepreneurship, nobody else can stop us. A full stop is all about ending. Let's create a pause. That pause is that space, that time between two paragraphs in a story. Let's add pauses and several paragraphs rather than just going continuously about punching the words in our mind, which is not helping us, rather than saving that particular data, which is no good for anyone. I can go on and on, but this is a real story. If you think I'm just sharing this with you, I would say I have a mirror in front of me. I'm just sharing all this to the mirror because I know it's reflecting back. This is my pause between the paragraph in a story to rethink, reanalyze, and to pivot what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and coming back with the agenda on how to go about my purpose and the vision. Children are special. As mother or parents, we are just normal, right? We are not special. A mother is not born. A motherhood happens. We become one. An entrepreneur is not born. Well, that's to me, according to me. We become. I think I remember vaguely MS Dhoni talking about, sharing this quote. The world thinks you are strong. world wants to see you strong, and never expect them to ask you, hey, how are you doing? Well, I might not put those words in an exact way how MS Dhoni had shared, but I'm just reiterating that people want you to be strong. People would like to see you strong. Not everybody pauses to ask you, how are you doing? Because they just want to see you strong. They just want you to be strong. Not everyone in the world accepts a vulnerable side of you. A vulnerable side, it is not horrible side of you. It is just that authentic part of you wanting to be heard, because only when it is heard, it's reflected. You embrace that and we just start working on it. I can go on and on, but like I mentioned, I just want to pause, because I carry myself, I become one as a strong woman, a strong mother, a strong entrepreneur. Not everybody pauses to ask me, how are you doing? How are you dealing with all this? That's it. Thank you for pausing. Thank you for stopping by and listening to Motherhood and Entrepreneurship episode on Copy and Conversation. So glad to say that Copy and Conversation is selected by Spotify and Idea Brews Studio for a level up program, and we are one of those 50 of a selected from the Indian podcasters. As I'm having this happy note as an end note, I'm inviting you to pause, reflect, create several pauses, because you will know what's your purpose. And my purpose is all about transforming words and emotions into stories, creating that emotional and mental well-being, and enabling people to build their brand or outcome. Thank you. See you in the next episode on your Copy and Conversation show. This is your Meera signing off. Bye-bye.